This is Angela with the Coupon Project, and today we are canning applesauce. I've got my helper with me. Come here, helper. This is Piper. Say hi, Piper.
Hey, Piper.
Okay, that's Piper. She's going to be helping me. Now, I've never canned before, so you are watching my very first attempt. Win, lose, or fail, we're going to figure this out, aren't we? Yes. So I want to show you what I got to get started. I did some reading. In fact, let me show you the book that I got. It's called The Ball's Complete Book of Home Preserving. So I've honestly never gone to any canning classes or anything. All I learned was just through watching YouTube and reading this book. And so hopefully this is going to work. Now, okay, Piper wants to say hi again. Say hi.
Hi.
Okay, so let me show you what I got today at Bed Bath & Beyond. I bought this giant granite ware canner, and it was only $24.95. It's a giant pot, basically, with a rack in it to put the jars in. Now, I've read that if you may already have a pot at home that would serve the purpose. You just got to make sure that it's big enough to put the jars in, and there'd be like 3 inches of water over the jars. So you might want to check out any pots that you already have on hand that could work, but you probably will still need like this little basket thingy. Okay, the other thing I bought is a simple kit. It has like the tongs, the funnel, some bubble remover. I don't know how necessary these things are. I guess I'll find out really quickly. This was $10. So I bought this and this for $38 with tax today. I was actually really impressed that this stuff isn't as expensive as I thought it would be. I thought it would be a lot more money to get started. Now, today I also went to my local produce store and I bought, I don't know if you can see all of these, but a ton of Fuji apples. They were 50 cents a pound, or if you bought a half bushel, they were $10. Now, they're not exactly perfect, but I know they're going to be just fine for applesauce once I scrub and clean them up and cut off any bruises. And then I bought quart-size jars for the canning. So, I have everything I need, and I have some time on my hands, so I'm going to show you how this works. Okay, for the first thing I've done here is emptied all the apples and just soaked them in some water in my sink. So now comes the arduous task of peeling them and coring them and cutting them into sections to simmer on the stove. Now, if you have like a food mill, it sounded like you could maybe cook them and process them through there to remove all the skins and seeds and cores and so forth. I don't have that, so I have some serious work ahead of me. I'll see you in a few. Okay, so I've spent the last half an hour working on probably less than half of the apples that I have, and I have this many in a big pot ready to start boiling. Now, when you cut and peel the apples, they will start to turn brown, so my recipe says to use some lemon juice to prevent them from sticking. I'm going to go ahead and turn these on. While these are cooking, I guess I'll work on the second batch. I'm going to have to probably have a couple pots going here. It's going to be a ton of applesauce. I am doubling the recipe, though. The recipe calls for 12 pounds of apples, and I've got probably somewhere between 22, 24 pounds. So the 12 pounds, like this is you're probably looking, gosh, I don't even know if this is 12 pounds. I think, though, that this is probably close to it, and if so, that's supposed to yield 4 quarts. So we'll see how this all shakes out. I'm going to let this boil down. I'm going to work on the second batch of apples, and then I'll meet you back for the next. I finished the apples, and it took me about an hour. While I was working on the second batch, I cooked the first. They are tender, so like they're just like falling apart. So I'm going to put them in my Vitamix. If you have a different food processor, you could use that, or you could hand mash them. I'm just going to run them through batches in my Vitamix. Do you want to come help, Piper? Here. Stand up here. So Piper's back to say hi again.
Hi.
Okay, sweetie, so we're going to make the applesauce. So these are really, really, really hot. So I'm just going to do them in little sections at a time. So you want to be super careful. Yes, exactly. So this is really hot. So I'm just going to go really slow here.
Yes, and then really fast.
Okay. Okay, perfect. So I'm going to continue doing this in batches until I'm all the way done. Then I'll meet you back for the next step. Probably just took me 2 or 3 minutes. The Vitamix is super fast. If you have one, you know. So this is the consistency I took it, if you can see, and the amount that one of those full pots yielded me. So I'm going to go start to get my cans ready and keep an eye on the other half batch of my applesauce, and I'll meet you back here. Okay, so I'm starting to process my jars. I've washed them in hot soapy water. Same with the lids and the rings that go around them. And now I'm going to place them in the bottom of the counter. And I should mention that I have the basket in there at this point. So since I'm using the quart size, I'm going to put it all the way at the bottom here. I'm going to put these in, just like that. Now I'm going to fill this whole thing with water until the jars are about 2/3 full. And I'm going to put it on the stove and heat it up a little bit. Now, according to the book, I don't have to boil it. I don't need to worry about sterilizing it because the processing will keep everything from going bad. But I do need to get these jars nice and hot and ready to go. Okay, I think it's the moment of truth. I have the sauce ready and the jars ready. So I now grabbed all those things that were in that little canning kit. And one of them was this candy tool that I'll use to lift my hot jars one by one. So I'm going to do this one by one. And these could be kind of hot, so I guess be careful. I'm going to just use a towel just to make sure that that we're good here. Yeah, my jar is quite warm, so I'm just going to run it under some hot water one more time. For whatever reason, the book said to do that, so I'm going to do that. And next I'm going to use this funnel. Piper, you want to come watch? Here, come here. Get your chair. Piper's back for more of the applesauce action. Say hi.
Hi, hi, hi.
Okay, now we're going to put the applesauce in. Let me grab my ladle. Okay, so now we're going to just ladle this. Make sure you can still see. We're just going to ladle it all the way in. And I think this is actually going to work. What do you think? Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and ladle all of my jars, and then the next part will be to process. I've done my first jar, and I wanted to show you something really important. There's this thing called headspace. It refers to the amount of air that you leave at the top of the jar. So once I funneled this in, I used this little spatula and just sort of run it down the sides of the jar a few times to make sure that you don't have any bubbles. Any big bubbles, right? Because that can impact the quality of the food. And then you want to make sure that you're leaving the correct amount of space at the top for what you're making. So let me see. So this looks pretty good. I might have just a touch. I might just have a touch too much here. So I'll just go. Hi, sweetie. So once you have that correct. I think we're about good there. Then you use this magnetic thing to pull the lids out, which you are also keeping in hot water. So see, look at it, pulls the lid up so you don't have to touch that hot thing. And then you just drop the band on and around. One thing that surprised me, I thought these jars would be really, really hot to handle. Once I pulled them out, they actually cool off really, really quickly. So it actually, you don't, I mean, it's warm, but you're not going to burn yourself. It's been like maybe an hour and 40 minutes since I started this process. And I now have all of those apples. Turned out to be 5 quarts of sauce. I was thinking it would be more, but this is sort of a good learning example for me, isn't it? What do you think, Piper?
Great.
Okay, so I'm going to now process these. So I'm going to go ahead and put them in my canner, fill the canner completely with water. I need to double check my my notes in my cookbook. I think that the water has to go over the top of them, and then these have to boil for 20 minutes. And then that's pretty much it. I'm going to take them out and let them cool for a few minutes, and then they should be good to go. Okay, so it's the next day, and there's one small step left to do. And that's just to test the seal on these. So these are completely cooled. So I'm just going to pull the band off and press down It doesn't pop back up. If it did, that would mean that the seal is not good and that these weren't processed correctly. These are. And then I'm just going to take a cloth and just clean off any little bits of food that may have gotten caught during processing so it doesn't stay and mold on there. And then finally, I'm just going to take a Sharpie and write on the lid today's date. And these can be safely stored for up to 1 year in preferably a cool, dark place. And there you go, canned applesauce. So Piper wanted to say thank you to everyone for watching our video today. Piper, can you say thank you to everyone out there?
Thank you.
And what else would you like to tell them?
I have seashells at home.
You have a what at home?
Seashells.
Oh, she had some seashells. We went to the beach yesterday. Anything else?
I like Target so much.
She likes Target, so there's a little free plug for Target in our applesauce video. Thank you so much. Bye.